Leadership New Jersey presents the 2010 Forum on the Future of New Jersey. This year's forum, State of Change, Building a Culture of Innovation and Creativity in New Jersey. This program was recorded November 9th, 2010 at New Jersey City University in Jersey City. In this program, we'll hear opening remarks from Robert Marshall, Leadership New Jersey Class of 2005, and Andrew Sinclair, Leadership New Jersey Class of 2001. Mr. Sinclair will introduce the first keynote speaker, the Honorable Bill Baroni, Deputy Executive Director of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Now let's go to the lectern for Bob Marshall.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bob Marshall, and I'm from the class of 2005, and I am the chair of the Leadership New Jersey Graduate Organization. I wanted to welcome you all here. Thanks, first of all, to New Jersey City University for sponsoring us. Thanks to the co-chairs, and I'll introduce them in a minute. Thanks to our speakers, and thanks to our attendees. Most of all, thanks to the Lieutenant Governor. Let me introduce and again thank our co-chairs, Catherine Kish from the class of 2003, Michael Willman from the class of 2001, and Andrew Sinclair from the class of 2001. And let me, without further ado, feel free to applaud at any time. Without further ado, let me bring up Andrew Sinclair to introduce our first speaker.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. Thank you for coming. I've had the pleasure of knowing Bill Baroni for 15 years. He's the Deputy Executive Director of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. He will explain to you what that means and how critical the port is to the economy. I can tell you, as a person who's involved in government affairs for the past 15 years in New Jersey, that position is one of the most important in all of state government. His resume is equally impressive. Bill Baroni served as a New Jersey State Senator representing portions of Mercer and Middlesex counties from 2008 to 2010. He was a member of a number of important committees, namely the Senate Judiciary Committee. Prior to that, he was a member of the New Jersey Assembly from 2004 through 2008. And when he was in the Assembly, he was a member of the Assembly Education and Higher Education Committees. He's also an adjunct professor at Seton Hall University Law School, where he teaches professional responsibility along with election law. He is also a member of the Board of Trustees for Visitation Home, which builds homes for New Jersey residents with disabilities, La Boheme Opera, and the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. Just personally, as a lobbyist, I can tell you that Senator Baroni was an exceptional legislator. He's a gifted orator. The speeches he delivered on the Senate floor were legendary and displayed his passionate advocacy for his district and his beliefs about government. He truly set the standard in the legislature. It is truly my pleasure to present you my friend, Bill Baroni.
Thank you, Andrew, very much. It's great to be able to attend your own funeral. Very kind introduction. I am honored to be here at another LNJ event. I've had the good fortune of doing a number of these throughout my time in the legislature and in politics, and I'm glad I get to still do them now that I've taken on a different role. And back in February, when Governor Christie and Lieutenant Governor Giordano called me in to talk about the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, it was certainly not something that I had thought about before. But as those conversations took place, I realized how critically important the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is to New Jersey and to the economic development and economic future of our state. You know, I'm a kid from Hamilton, New Jersey. I see Riola Benson's here as well. I'm a kid from Hamilton, New Jersey. You know, growing up in Hamilton, you knew the Port Authority because, of course, when I got the job, my father finally understood who he could complain to about things. You drive through our tunnels, you go to the airport, Port Authority, and some people say you work at the bus terminal. I'll tell you a little bit about the Port Authority of New Jersey. Next year we will be 90 years old. 90 years ago, the governors of New York and New Jersey, following an act of Congress, signed the first ever interstate compact creating a bi-state agency. And they did that because New York and New Jersey port interests were literally shooting at each other. And some wise heads 90 years ago, next day, said, we should stop that. In the interim, since then, Port Authority built the George Washington Bridge, 3 tubes of the Lincoln Tunnel, took over, modernized the Holland Tunnel. We built 3 major airports, took over 2 smaller ones. We built the first World Trade Center, the Inland Terminal, if you've ever been on 8th Avenue in New York City at the time, it was the world's 3rd largest building. Then in the late 1960s, we built what we all know as the Twin Towers, the 2nd World Trade Center. We took over a dying train system known as the Hudson and Manhattan and took it over and made it the path. And we took the port that was causing so much fighting and made it the largest port on the East Coast, the 3rd largest in the country. We did all of that over 89 years. Today, we are building a new Goethals Bridge. We are raising the Bayonne, fixing the issue of the Bayonne Bridge. I shouldn't say the word raising. We're fixing the height issue of the Bayonne Bridge. We are modernizing the path system. We are expanding the Port of New York and New Jersey. And we are rebuilding the World Trade Center all at once. The governor, lieutenant governor, see the Port Authority as one of those economic engines for New Jersey's future. The numbers bear this out. 121 million people a year use one of our tunnels or bridges. 72 million people a year ride the path. 75 million people use the bus terminal. The Port Authority has spent $5 billion in additional security funds since 9/11. 4.6 million containers come through the port every year. What I want to do is talk about a couple of projects. As the lieutenant governor and the governor and I were walking out to the press conference, one of the things that the governor said was make sure to get up there to the Port Authority and make sure that 9/11 memorial opens on time at the World Trade Center. Sometimes people look at the World Trade Center, and it is, especially from here, you can start to see the rising of one World Trade. It's in New York. I can tell you, significant number of the 3,000 people, workers that are on that site 24 hours a day, significant percentage of them come from New Jersey. We are spending somewhere in the area of $11 or $12 billion on the reconstruction of the World Trade Center site. 2,752 people didn't come home that day. 37 of those were Port Authority police officers. 84 were Port Authority employees that I never got a chance to work with. In fact, in early September, the Lieutenant Governor and I traveled around New Jersey and delivered pieces of World Trade Center steel that were part, obviously, of the towers that collapsed on September 11th. In a number of our towns, we met people whose family members died that day. For the Port Authority, the World Trade Center wasn't just a building that we built, it was our home. We lost our family members that day. And its rebuilding is a passion to the Port Authority, and it's a passion to our governor and lieutenant governor. The memorial, which is the footprint of the 2 Twin Towers, will be open on the 10th anniversary. Contrary to what lots of people wrote for lots of time, the Port Authority, we will open that memorial for the family members of people who died that day, and those who died in 1993, the first attack on the World Trade Center. The North Pool is actually, we are getting very close to beginning to run the water in the pool. The names are being forged right here in New Jersey, in Morris County. 300 trees that will be on the plaza are being grown in Englishtown in Monmouth County. The transportation hub that we are building that will accommodate more than 250,000 commuters every day, both through the PATH and 11 New York City subway lines. There are 3,000 people working today. At the end of this project, 25,000 people will work on rebuilding the site. That is a regional, multi-billion-dollar economic impact on small and large companies on both sides of the Hudson River. Speaking of PATH, as many of you know, we have 13 PATH stations, but the Port Authority realizes that we can't rest on our laurels lest we become the Hudson and Manhattan again. So we have invested in 340 new cars. We've spent $500 million, we're in the process of spending $500 million in signal upgrades, station upgrades, new seating areas, and new sound information systems. You didn't want to take the PATH to get to work, maybe you have to fly somewhere. At Newark Liberty International Airport, one of the two large international airports the Port Authority currently runs, 33 million of us have flown through there in the past year. It creates 150,000 regional jobs, $18.5 billion in economic activity, and there are 24,000 people who work there. Making sure that we keep Newark Liberty International Airport at the cutting edge of technology and in infrastructure is something that's not just good for the flying public, it's good for those of us who call New Jersey home. Just the last board meeting, we committed that we're spending currently $325 million construction project at Terminal B at Newark Airport. We are in the process of beginning to expand Terminal and improve Terminal A at Newark Airport. Not very far from here, you can go over to the water to a place called Greenville Yards. Greenville Yards is a largely abandoned rail facility the Port Authority has recently purchased that will allow us to take 300,000 trucks a year off the roads of New Jersey by putting cargo and garbage onto a train. This was a major initiative by the governor and lieutenant governor to take these trucks off of our roads crossing New Jersey. And it's going to be done in a way it's not only going to make revenue for the Port Authority, but it's going to help New Jersey by taking these trucks off the road. Additionally, not only is Greenville expanding the Port of New York and New Jersey, the Port Authority recently purchased the Global Marine Terminal at Port Jersey and purchased the Montby, which I understand you either have been out to or going out to, the Military Ocean Terminal at Bayonne. It is the largest expansion of the Port of New York and New Jersey since Port Elizabeth back in the 1940s and 50s. And that was led by Governor Christie, Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, because for a number of years, both Port Jersey and Montby and Greenville had sort of lingered under their leadership. They've been added to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey because the port itself, our original reason for existing, 203,000 people work there. $9 billion in personal income. Again, that's only 4.6 million TEU containers. We're currently spending $1 billion in infrastructure improvements and dredging at Port York, Port Elizabeth, Port Jersey, and Howland Hook. It is one of the largest investments in port infrastructure anywhere on the East Coast. Crossings. The Goethals Bridge, named after Brigadier General Goethals, who built the Panama Canal and was the lead engineer for the Port Authority. Well, any of us who live in central New Jersey, drive up the turnpike right about exit 13, you see the backup on the Goethals Bridge. The bridge is not wide enough and needs to be replaced. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is entering into a public-private partnership, a design, build, finance, maintain, unique. It has never been done before in a situation where the bridge already exists and is already tolled. And we are going through this cutting-edge financing to build a new Goethals Bridge. And finally, and most certainly not least, the Bayonne Bridge. I guess the fact that Goethals has a bridge named after him, the fact that he built the Panama Canal and Teddy Roosevelt built the Panama Canal, little did Lieutenant Governor and I know that many, many years later, we'd be faced with the situation of the Panama Canal being a major issue in New Jersey. As you all know, the Panama Canal is being expanded, being deepened and widened, and will take the largest ships in the world, the largest cargo ships in the world. Currently, the Bayonne Bridge is 151 feet above high tide. So the ships that can currently get under there, sometimes pretty close, The larger ships that will be coming through the Panama Canal starting some point in 2014 won't clear the bridge. So when I started at the Port Authority, every Republican and every Democrat, every legislator who I know, every business owner, every shipping person said the same thing. Congratulations on your new job, Baroni. You got to fix the Bayonne Bridge. People said to me, when I get up there, oh, you'll never fix it. You can't fix the Bayonne Bridge. It's too big of a deal. You know, it's too expensive to do. How are you going to get this done? It's going to be a $1 billion project. What are you going to do? Chris Christie and Kim Guadagno made fixing the Bayonne Bridge hype. Given the 200-something thousand people who work there, the billions of dollars in revenue to our state, the economic needs to keep Port Jersey, Port Newark, Port Elizabeth, and Howland Hook as the top port on the East Coast. Of course, we had to do something about the Bayonne Bridge. We expedited the environmental process for us to select which one we can go through, and by the governor, lieutenant governor's leadership, I guess it was 2 months ago, we were able, the Port Authority committed $1 billion fixing the height issue with the Bayonne Bridge. I don't know which one it's going to be. There's all kinds of different options that are out there. I most certainly don't want our friends in the press to think I'm announcing which one we're going to choose. But here's what I am telling you. The governor stood out in the shadow of the Bayonne Bridge announcing the $1 billion commitment from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to fix that issue so that those ships will get here. Those 200,000 plus jobs stay here. Those multi-billion-dollar economic activity stays here. That is the governor, lieutenant governor's priority. The Port Authority of New Jersey, whether it's expanding our airports, whether it is investing in Bayonne and Gotland bridges, the World Trade Center, Port Newark, Port Elizabeth, we are a multi-billion-dollar partner in their effort to make sure New Jersey's economy continues and grows and expands. And I am grateful for the time that I've had an opportunity to brag about my great agency. Thank you all very much.
We hope you enjoyed this Leadership New Jersey presentation of the 2010 Forum on the Future of New Jersey. If you'd like more information about Leadership New Jersey, please visit the website www.leadershipnj.org. We produce these programs in the studios of Professional Podcasts in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, on the web at professionalpodcasts.com. For everyone at Leadership New Jersey, this is Steve Lubetkin. Thank you for being with us, and take good care.